Hello, my name is Quaron Brown. Today I'll be talking to you about mandatory minimums. First, I'm gonna give you a brief story about my life to help you have a better understanding. I was born in Manhattan, New York. At the age of 6, I went to a foster home. My mother, she was a drug addict. She had her problems. Around the age of 10, I ended up getting adopted by the same people. I went to the foster home at the age of 6. From there, I ran away at the age of 13. At the age of 13, I got caught up in the streets. A few years later after that, I ended up getting convicted for marijuana in 1998. I came home 2000. Started, trying to get my life back together, but due to my upbringing, I was still trying to get things straightened in order. I also had children in the time of me growing up. So I come home 2001, and I end up getting convicted of another charge, which a friend had did something, and growing up in the streets, there's the code that we so-called live by, and I ended up doing some extra time. I come home 2004. Got my life together. I had to really think about my children that I had. They was getting older. So I got into throwing parties and promoting a lot of events. From 2004 up to 2013, which is 9 years, I got my life in order, ended up having some more children. I was enjoying life, paying taxes. I hired some people to work for my company, which my company is called Ghost Entertainment. And I was living life. Then all of a sudden, May 6th of 2013, I get police end up at my door stating that I had an indictment in New York City, which is 8 hours away from me. Mind blown. Couldn't believe it, didn't understand it. They said I was convicted of conspiracy to marijuana, and I was just stuck. So May 8th, I ended up in New York. They gave me a 22-page indictment stating that I was being charged for conspiracy marijuana of 1,000 more kilos, and the mandatory minimum carried 10 to life. Just reading that paper, it blew my mind. Like, how can anybody, even if I was selling marijuana, be looking at 10 years to life? Like, it blew my mind. So during the course of the case, I started learning more and more about the system and learning how it works. And long story short, as I was getting convicted, let me back up. The mandatory minimum they was trying to give me before I went to trial was 188 months to 235 months. Now we're gonna get into this a little later, but after I went to trial, through God's blessings, I got 60 months. I ended up representing myself. I ended up not getting a lot of charges thrown away. And what's even surprised me even more is that the day I got sentenced, another guy that was there with me, he got sentenced for child molestation, and he only of 2 children, a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old, and he got 36 months. Here I am. I didn't get caught with not a seed of marijuana, and I ended up getting 60 months after I went to trial and got so many charges thrown out. Now I'm telling y'all the story because I want y'all to really understand the problem, how one person's life and the mistake of the government could cause a problem for everybody else. Now being when I went to prison, I had 17 people working for me, which their families lost out on. Next, me, myself, I have 10 children. So when I went to prison, the taxpayers had to pick up the bill. It's sad to say it like that, but I'm telling y'all the truth. And I want people to really understand what is going on and why mandatory minimums is very much of a problem. And it's not a racial problem, it's an economic problem. The thing is with mandatory minimums is when a person goes to jail, this person's family, now the government has to take care of. And when the government has to take care of anybody, who has to pay the government? The people. This is where the taxpayer gets hurt the most. When a person goes to prison, if a person is doing a mandatory minimum of 60 months, the taxpayer is paying for that person's family for them 60 months. Mind you, when this person come home, this person has probation, and the taxpayers is still getting hit for it on the back end, because what the government is selling, and I'm not gonna say the whole government, because I don't want nobody to take this as I'm mad at the government because of what happened in my life or anything. I don't have no problem. I'm letting people know that there is a bad part of government, and there's bad decisions being made by certain people in the government. Now, back to what I was telling y'all about the 188 months to 235 months. Imagine a person getting that much time as a mandatory minimum, and the taxpayers have to pay for a person for 180 months, 235 months. We're talking about 10 to 15 years where somebody who's never committed a crime, don't know what's going on, but at the end of the day, when you get your check, money is being taken out your check to pay for a case. To pay for a person who got charged for a case, then it had nothing to do with you. Then you have people who's really committing real crimes and hurting people. They're getting less time than the people that's not doing anything. And especially, I got locked up for marijuana. It's non-violent. Who's getting hurt even if I was selling marijuana? And the whole thing is, like I'm explaining to y'all, I didn't get caught with nothing. And if I did get caught with something, I would admit, I've been locked up before. I'm not no angel, but I am here to tell y'all that this time, I was totally shocked and like, I couldn't believe it, because I turned my life around. And I would like for everybody who's looking at this video to please take heed to the words that I'm saying, and please understand, if we don't band together, stick together, and learn more about how to take care of each other, at the end of the day, we're going to continue to pay for other people's mistakes. With that, I pray that y'all all understand and appreciate all information that comes to y'all. God bless. My name is Quaron Brown.